A 16-year-old girl, full of dreams and hope, walks through the streets of Rome, seeking freedom from her past. But that night, her search for a new life takes a dark turn. Desirée Mariottini's journey ends in an abandoned building, where trust turns to betrayal and innocence meets a tragic fate. Desirée Mariottini was born on September 13, 2002, in Cisterna di Latina, Italy. Her early years were shaped by the complexities of her family's dynamic. Her mother, Barbara, was in a tumultuous relationship with Gianluca, a local drug lord. Despite the family's disapproval, particularly from Desiree's grandparents, her grandfather a prominent labor union activist, and her grandmother a respected lawyer, Barbara's relationship with Gianluca persisted, creating an unstable environment for Desiree. Desiree's father's reputation weighed heavily on her, and she chose not to carry his surname. Despite the complications at home, Desiree was described as a beautiful, sweet, and somewhat shy girl, though she struggled with a physical handicap that led to bullying. By the age of 16, Desiree's rebellious nature emerged. She rejected the conventional path laid out for her, dropping out of agricultural school and severing ties with her small-town life. Desiree was passionate about art, winning a prize that cemented her dream of studying at an art school in Rome. Her yearning for freedom led her to the capital, where she found friends and began experimenting with substances, actions that spiraled beyond her control. Desiree's life, shaped by a fractured family and a longing for independence, set the stage for the tragic events to come. At 16, Desiree left her small town of Cisterna di Latina behind, seeking a new life in Rome. The capital represented freedom, a stark contrast to her family's troubled history and the limitations of her rural surroundings. Desiree enrolled in art school, but her escape from the past turned into a journey of rebellion and self-destruction. The anonymity of the city gave her a sense of liberation, but also led her into dangerous territory. In Rome, Desiree found herself entangled in unhealthy relationships and a lifestyle marked by increasing involvement with illegal substances. She gained access to drugs through acquaintances, including Antonella, whom she met in a drug den. Their friendship deepened, and together they navigated a world of substances and risk. Desiree's growing dependency on drugs marked a shift from the creative young girl she once was into someone desperate for a sense of belonging. Her behavior grew increasingly erratic, and her family became more concerned. Social services were involved, and Desiree had been arrested for selling sedatives to minors, escalating tensions. Her grandmother, who had been caring for her, struggled to maintain control over Desiree's reckless actions. Despite these warnings, Desiree's rebellious spirit remained uncontainable, and her life spiraled further. Her desire for freedom, mixed with the influence of her new surroundings, pushed her down an unpredictable path that led to tragic consequences. On the evening of October 18, 2018, Desiree traveled to Rome with plans to attend art school. As a 16-year-old living a turbulent life, this trip represented both an escape and a chance to find stability. She missed the last bus back to her town, so she called her family and told them she would stay at a friend's house in Rome for the night. That was the last time anyone in her family heard from her. The friend she referred to was Antonella, whom Desiree had met a couple of weeks earlier. Antonella was someone Desiree had become close to during her time in the city, though their friendship was tied to a world of drugs and illicit activities. On the night of October 18th, the two ventured into the San Lorenzo district, where an abandoned building, a known drug den, became the site of Desiree's tragic fate. The building had a reputation for housing dangerous individuals involved in drug trafficking and was feared by locals. Desirée, searching for stolen tablets she had reportedly been looking for, accompanied Antonella into this decrepit, unguarded space. It was there that Desirée encountered a dangerous group of men. They drugged her, and the situation quickly escalated into a violent attack. The grim reality of what happened next remains seared into the memories of those who witnessed it. Desirée, trapped in a place she should never have been, was about to face a tragic end. On the night of October 18, 2018, Desirée Mariottini was led into an abandoned building in the San Lorenzo district of Rome, a place known for its connection to drug trafficking. There, she met a group of men who offered her a mixture of cannabis and alcohol, intending to incapacitate her. The drugged concoction took effect quickly, leaving Desirée defenseless. Antonella, who had accompanied Desirée to the building, distanced herself from the scene. She claimed she did not want to participate in the activities and left Desirée alone with the men. This decision would prove devastating. Once Antonella left, the men began their brutal assault. The attackers, later identified as men from various backgrounds, took turns abusing Desirée while she was unconscious. The crime unfolded in the darkness of the abandoned building, a place littered with trash. Desirée, completely incapacitated, was subjected to unimaginable violence. The assault continued for hours. One attacker suggested calling for help, but the leader of the group silenced them, saying, "She'd rather die than we end up in jail." Fearful of repercussions, the men abandoned Desirée at the scene, leaving her exposed, a fate that ultimately led to her death. On the morning of October 19, 2018, Desirée's lifeless body was discovered in the abandoned building where she had been left the night before. The building, once a haven for drug traffickers, was feared by the locals, making any cooperation with the authorities difficult. Witnesses hesitated to come forward, and the initial response from the police was cautious. Despite these challenges, the investigation began. The police gathered what little evidence they could, but the lack of immediate witnesses complicated the process. A breakthrough came when a local resident, initially too scared to speak, provided crucial testimony. This information led to the identification of the suspects, revealing that this crime was not random but committed with intent and cruelty. The autopsy of Desirée revealed the chilling details of her final hours. Laboratory tests confirmed she had been drugged with a lethal cocktail of substances, including cannabis and alcohol. These drugs left her defenseless. The toxicology report painted a grim picture of her last moments, showing how the drugs incapacitated her and led to the horrific events that followed. The autopsy also revealed that Desirée had been asphyxiated during the assault. This suggested that the attackers physically restrained her to prevent her from screaming. It was clear that the brutality extended beyond the assault, and Desirée suffered alone. One of the most haunting revelations from the autopsy was that Desirée remained alive for up to 10 hours after the assault. This discovery raised painful questions. Could Desirée have been saved if medical help had been called? The fact that she was left untreated, alone and exposed, sealed her fate. The investigation into Desirée Mariottini's death took a crucial turn when two suspects were arrested shortly after her body was discovered. Mamadou Gara, aged 26, and Brian Minte, aged 43, were the first to be apprehended. Both men were charged with gang rape, drug possession, and premeditated murder. Despite challenges in gathering reliable information from the community due to fear of retaliation, the investigation gained momentum. A breakthrough came when a key witness provided crucial testimony. This person helped link the arrested suspects to the crime scene. As the investigation progressed, 2 more suspects were identified and arrested: Alino Chima, 46, from Nigeria, and Yusuf Salia from Senegal. Both were charged in connection with the crime. The investigation not only identified the suspects, but also uncovered vital evidence, including DNA found on Desiree's body, confirming their involvement. This evidence, combined with witness statements, ensured the case was progressing toward justice. The trial began in October 2019. Mamadou Gara, Brian Minte, Alino Chima, and Yusuf Salia were all charged with gang rape, drug possession, and premeditated murder. The court proceedings were closely followed, with emotions running high. The prosecution, led by Maria Tamel, presented compelling evidence, including DNA samples and witness testimonies. Gara and Salia received life sentences, while Minte and Chima received lesser sentences, Minte 24.5 years and Chima 27 years. Desiree's family expressed disappointment, as they had hoped for life sentences for all. During the appeals process, charges against one suspect were initially dropped but later reinstated due to new evidence, prolonging the family's suffering. Despite the verdict, Desiree's family continued their fight for justice. Desiree's death sparked public protests and demonstrations, calling for stronger action against violence and drug trafficking. The San Lorenzo neighborhood became a focal point for these protests as residents and activists demanded change. The protests reflected a desire for immediate justice and long-term societal reforms. The case also had political ramifications. Interior Minister Matteo Salvini used Desiree's death to push his anti-immigrant agenda, condemning the suspects, who were migrants. This political rhetoric sparked debate and division across Italy, with some supporting Salvini's stance, while others condemned the generalization of all immigrants. The case deepened political tensions. In the aftermath, a memorial bench was dedicated to Desiree in Rome, serving as a symbol of collective grief and the ongoing fight for justice. Desiree's family, especially her mother, expressed their pain and frustration with the political and social turmoil surrounding the case. The bench became a symbol of both personal loss and a call for justice and change. Desiree's death left a profound impact on Italy, highlighting critical issues like drug trafficking, immigration policies, and the breakdown of social safety nets. The San Lorenzo district, once a vibrant part of the city, had become a hotbed for criminal activities. The case served as a stark reminder of the lawlessness in certain areas and the vulnerability of individuals like Desiree. Politically, Desiree's death reignited debates on immigration and safety. The public remained divided, with some justifying harsher immigration policies, while others condemned the scapegoating of migrants. Throughout the turmoil, Desiree's family continued to fight for justice, and her tragic story remains a catalyst for change in the fight against violence and injustice.